Performing at clubs to being an extra in movies, entertainer Brian T. Shirley is doing everything these days. I talk one-on-one with him about what's next for him for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Brian T. Shirley, welcome back to the award-winning Quintin's Close-Ups.
Hey, man. Congratulations on all your success. By the way, you've really been knocking it out of the park. You got like a key to the city in a day in Charleston now. And, you know, I can see the day when you're going to start getting picked up by some bigger platforms. We're just, you know, it's going to happen at some point.
Oh, and same to you. You've been doing great things, and a lot of big things are going to happen for you as well. Speaking of big things, what is that show title or film title that describes your life right now?
Roller Coaster. Yeah, that would be my film title. That's going to be probably the film title the rest of my life, to be honest. Because when you are a full-time entertainer, unless, you know, you're huge, even the huge guys, though, I mean, we've seen it with, and I don't want to bring up tragedy, but look at Alec Baldwin right now. You know, he was, you know, he was just hitting them out of the park all the time. You know, if he wasn't on Saturday Night Live, he was in a film. I saw a film recently with him in it, and then this thing happens and he doesn't know what's going to happen now. I mean, because not only was he an actor in that film, he was a producer,
right?
So but it just goes to show it's pretty much a roller coaster. I was in Myrtle Beach all week last week at the Comedy Cabana performing, and this week, very slow week right now. I mean, I've had weeks start off like this, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm going to go down to Savannah and do some background for feature film just to keep my money coming in and just to really stay on sets and stuff. I like being around creative people and seeing the creative process. So that's what's going on.
What is that creative process?
Well, I think it all begins with writing. You know, I'm constantly coming up with new material. Maybe not loads, maybe a little bit, maybe a big bit. You know, it just, you never know. And sometimes it's not always stand up. Sometimes I put together a short film, or maybe just a scene for a sketch comedy, or, you know, I've got things germinating right now that we were working on. I'm not filming and writing my own stuff as much as I was because, you know, I started getting on a lot of other projects. So now it's, you know, I might be going back to that. I'm working on a short story called The Seer. I'm going to make it into a kind of like a slideshow video. It's about 12 minutes long. So I'm still, man, that's a lot. I didn't realize when I started how much editing it was going to be.
Right.
But you know about that.
Yes.
So I had to take a step back from it. Now I'll get back to it.
Yes, sir. And when you do write on your own, what exactly is that process?
You know, it's one of those things. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, and I guess when you get a certain age, that happens. You wake up and start thinking. That's where a lot of stuff comes. Or, you know, driving, walking, because I try to walk, stay healthy. And I don't know, it's always in those periods where you kind of lose your mind as far as you're not thinking about anything in particular. It's kind of just free flowing. And, you know, ideas come, and then I can, once I latch on an idea, it just, you know, you just follow the stream of thought. And that's what's fun about it. And just recently when I was in Myrtle Beach, I worked on some new material that I was really happy with that worked on stage. So that's the germination of it. You write it, develop it, edit it, and then either it's on stage or it's on a film, or, you know, it's in a song or whatever. Writing is the beginning of everything. And of course, if you're doing stand up, you know, like that, if it works. Films take a little longer, obviously.
Yes, sir. And who is Brian T. Shirley in the film and on the stage?
On the stage, I focus. I really can't even tell you my character, to be honest. It's just, I get up there and I focus. I have my set in my head. I usually have a game plan. At least I know how I'm going to begin and how I'm going to end, because I've got a lot of material to choose from. So when I'm up there, I can kind of go with the crowd. So on stage, I'm kind of the smart ass. Smart ass thinks he's kind of too cool for the room guy. But then I like to be fun. I like to have a serious look, but then kind of give you a smile to let you know it's a joke. And then on the set, that's different because I'm playing a character. So I'm, me until the camera rolls. And then I'll on both, you'll see me pacing around. Yes. Usually, if I'm doing a club, I'll be in the back pacing around. People, hey, come have dinner with us before the show. I'll eat a little bit, but I'm not sitting there the whole time. I can't.
Right.
And same on a set, I'll sit for periods, but I like to be up walking around because I guess walking kind of gets the brain going. And I love trying to get into that character and become, those lines on the page. So I got an audition I'm working on, as a matter of fact, and I'll walk and read my sides. And then that's how I get into character and develop the character.
Wow. So how do you read the room when you're on stage and on set?
Well, on stage, obviously on stage, it's a little easier because they're right there in front of you. And I had the luxury of having an MC and a couple of guest spots this week. So even just an MC is good. And then when I do my one-man shows, which I've been doing those mainly, I have to rely on just kind of maybe talking to the people a little bit before the show, or just watching them walk in and talk and, be with each other. And then if I'm lucky, I'll get somebody to bring me up. And in a minute, I'll have to figure out where they're at, And then you go up there and you say hi. And that's why when you do a one-man show, it's a little different. I don't normally go into jokes right like that off the bat. I generally talk to them for a little bit, and I don't have any set formula to that. I just kind of feel them out and just talk, and then slowly present the jokes, and then I'm off once they start getting into it. But on a set, you have to give the other actors their space. You got to give them because you don't know these folks. 9 times out of 10, when you go on a set, you've never met the actors, or the other actors. So, I try to just kind of feel them out, see what they're comfortable with. And I've had a fortunate because I've worked with a lot of really cool people. And one of the things I've noticed is getting on a set and going over lines with somebody, and they might not even be in your scene. I mean, that happened out in Dallas. I met a lady and we were talking, and it just hit me out of the blue because she goes, "Do you want to run some line?" And I thought, oh, that's right, we're acting because we were just visiting, Right. And I thought, oh yeah, that's right, we got to film, don't we? Yeah. So yeah, I think being relaxed. If somebody is wanting, hey, what's your number one, advice as far as entertainment goes? Stage doesn't matter. Stage, film set, whatever. You got to feel comfortable and you got to feel relaxed. You got to feel at home, and that's the job of the folks that are around. I mean, if you've got a great, crew that you're working with on a film set, they will know. And they're not trying to kiss the actor's ass. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you got to pamper me. I'm just saying if you make the entertainers feel comfortable, that's all they need, really. Some water, maybe a few snacks, an area to decompress or prepare. And that's basically it, and then you go on stage or you get on that mark. And I think that's, to me, and I even talked to a director, Adrian Roman. I don't think you've interviewed him.
Not yet.
Have you Are you in touch with him by any
I'm
chance?
going to be, yes, sir. I'm going to be right as soon as this interview's over with.
No way, really?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'll call him up. I can make it happen.
Yeah. Adrian he films here in Charleston. He is a Charleston filmmaker. The Blood Thins is doing very well on Amazon, which I was on that film set, and that's where I met him. And Holly Hill, which I played detective in, yes, that's coming out. Cross your fingers. I think spring, but don't quote me. He's working on it. He's editing it. It looks amazing from what I've seen. I had a very long conversation with him, probably 2.5 weeks ago, and he said, "Look, Brian, you're great, but you got to be more relaxed on set. You can't be worried about your lines and stuff like that. You got to loosen up." And I think it was great advice. He's right, and I think sometimes as entertainers and actors, comedians or whatever, we're so worried about what we're doing, about the output of our performance, that we don't take the time to relax and have fun with it. And even if you're playing a bad guy, even if you're playing a serious dramatic part, whatever, you still got to have fun with it. I mean, you can have fun while being serious. You know what I'm saying? When you're an actor, And if you've ever seen these outtakes or anything from films, you'll see a guy playing just the wickedest villain, and then they'll say cut, and all of a sudden the guy's looking at somebody laughing because he screwed up a line or something. So, you want to be prepared. I'm not saying that. Be prepared. Know your lines. Know your character inside and out. You're that guy, that girl, whatever, when you're there or when you're talking to the camera. And then let it flow. Don't worry about so much the output. Like I said, the final product, that'll come with your relaxation and just being, So, but you learn. It's a learning process. And I hope I always learn, because when I stop learning, then it's time to quit. Because it means I think I know everything.
Right. You're right.
And you learn real quick on some things. You don't know everything. On stage and behind the camera, in front of the camera, either one, you will learn very fast. Wait a second. I'm not as smart as I thought I was.
Yeah, I understand that completely. So what is your output?
I think it just, at one point, Quintin, I was comedian, Brian T. Shirley. That was it. I'm a comedian. And then it took me a while to realize that I'm not a comedian. I'm an entertainer. I'm a person, a creator. I like creating content. I like, putting out entertaining things. That's just who I am. It's not what I am. It's who I am, So I can't say, well, my job is an entertainer. No, my life is an entertainer. And I realize that now, because that's what I love to do. I like, relaxing, and, I'm not always out. I'm not on all the time. Let's put it that way. But, because I think my style of entertainment is a lot of observation. I have to observe a lot of things, and that's where all the ideas come from. And sometimes they don't seem like real life, but a lot of it is drawn from real life. That's just, I like making it ridiculous sometimes. Like this film right here, Anguish, has a twist at the end, and when I thought of the twist, I almost wrote that short film backwards. I kind of knew how it was going to end first, and then I figured out how to get there, and I had a scene already in mind somewhere in the middle, and then built it. So that's just one example of how things work sometimes. Sometimes you come up with a punchline first. And then you got to build the joke to it. You go, boy, that's funny as hell. I wonder, I know how I can do that. And then boom.
Yes.
Yeah.
When did you develop that style?
I don't know. I really don't. I don't think it's still finished. I think it's developing. I think it will always develop. I hope it will, because that's when I get bored. Like this week, think about this. I did 1, 2, 3. We did 6 shows Wednesday through Saturday. And by the second show Saturday night, maybe even the first show, I was almost bored with my own show. And I had changed it up. I was only doing 30 minutes, though. I was doing 25, 30 minutes. So, I can't do the same show twice in a row. I have to change it up. And that's when I think if you keep changing things up, that's how you grow and you learn. And then, what's fun is knowing your material, whether it be the stand-up or the lines, whatever, so well that when you get on stage or you get in front of the camera, you can just play, and explore. That's when it gets fun. When you're on stage, you know the jokes, you know what you're going to do, but you're like, and it'll happen a lot. You'll be up there and all of a sudden you'll go, I've never said the word, whatever word it is, this way. Let me try that.
Right.
I mean, just one word, just that, little nuance there changes the whole damn joke. So that's fun to just kind of play.
Right.
And then you can do the same thing, with acting too, is because sometimes what'll happen is you'll do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more takes, because they're doing different angles or whatever. And a lot of directors will do this. They'll go, we've got it, but let's just do one for fun. And you'll go, okay, just let it go. Doesn't matter. You mess up, keep going, just go. Yeah. And then you go, all right. And I did that and I stuttered and they kept it. I remember one scene where that happened. They thought it was funny, just the way I did it.
Wow.
And so you watch it, you go, they kept the stutter. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know what works.
Right.
They put it together and they go, oh my God, that works. 3 different takes and you can't tell. You're watching it, and it's like, oh, well, that was a happy accident.
Yes, exactly right. That's what I wanted to say. Yes, sir. And obviously, you have toured in the United States of America, Canada, the Bahamas, and Japan over the past 25 years. How have you grown?
Oh, all those experiences. And what's, I just recently, and it's really no big deal how far you go. I just did 2 senior communities up in Myrtle Beach and Pawleys Island.
Oh, yes.
And got a whole new bit out of that. I mean, I'll tell you folks what it is. So I did one, and then I did the sister community in Pawleys Island. Did Myrtle Beach. I get to Pawleys Island. The lady goes, "How was it?" I said, "It was great. They were fun." She goes, "How old are they up there?" I said, mid-70s. They were fun, mid-70s, but a lot of fun. And she goes, "Oh yeah, that's the younger crowd." I was like, the younger crowd. Whoa. And I thought, man, it's a good thing I'm not doing another show. They're going to be going, all right, we're going to put you over here by the mausoleum. Kind of a quiet audience, So, yeah, there's a new bit. And it came from doing those shows. And I've got another bit that I did a while about another community in Atlanta. Yeah. And so I put that on the end of that. It was funny because I did that first and it got good laughs. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute. I've got this other bit. And I sewed it in to the end. Right. And now I did it, got to play with that. And I was like, wow. Yes. So that's how it works, Quintin. You have these experiences. I talk about going to Japan on stage and all these other places. Those sometimes, it doesn't matter the place. Something happens, so it comes into your show, or you make an observation, and it comes in. So, yeah, those. I think one thing is saying yes. And there were a lot of years where I was frustrated and I wouldn't do stuff because it either wasn't enough money, or I wasn't in, I wasn't headlining, or other things, And then I started saying yes more. There are times I will say no, but I learned saying yes sometimes is the best thing, because even if you're like, God, I don't want to do that, but it's a slow week. Like this week, I'm not really trying to work background, but I think the more time, if you're not doing something and you can be on a set, Why not? And then I went down there and did it like 3 weeks ago or whatever. Went down to Savannah and did it. And I don't think I can say the name of the film. I don't think I can. And so I'm changing. They have a little tent, and I'm changing into the outfit they want me to wear. And I hear on the other side of the tent this lady saying, "Yeah, oh no, I just drove down from Charleston." And I'm like, I bet I know them. And I walked around, and it's this lady named Kathleen, and she's watching. And yeah, we've been in several films together. It was cool. I was like, "Oh, how you doing?" "Hey, it's our craft person," because she worked craft on a gig, just to help out, which goes to show how the film community is. I mean, I've never met a community like that. The comedy community is good, the stand-up community, but there are a lot of really giving people in the film community that will go, I'm not acting on this film, but okay, I'll come in and do craft services, which if folks don't know, that's food. That's where you're fixing food for the actors and the crew. And she did. She came in and took it because he needed somebody, and she said, "All right, I'll help out. I want to help the production." That was for Holly Hill, as a matter of fact. So I'll give Holly Hill another shout out. Look, she did the blood thins. She got a good face shot, the blood thins. I mean, right at the beginning, wow. I was like, wow, you got some good face time from there. And just a lot of other stuff we've been on before. So and then there's another lady there too that I've done some other things with. So that was cool. You go to another city, and here's these people
Yes, that's amazing. Yeah. What is the state of film and communities that is
here in Charleston?
Oh, and around, yeah, around the South.
I think it's growing a lot in Atlanta, especially. Wilmington seems to be doing good. Knoxville, the only bad thing about Knoxville, I keep getting things on my actor site for Knoxville, but they don't pay for hotel or anything. I think Savannah has got some things going there. As a matter of fact, they just shot a movie with John Travolta, and believe it or not, and I think Bruce Willis, but I don't know if Bruce was down in Savannah. I don't know if he was there.
Probably not.
Yeah, they shot most of it in Hawaii and then shot like 3 days in Savannah.
Wow.
And there was a possibility of me doing something on it, but it didn't happen. Yeah, and then, gosh, Charleston is kind of weird because we've got, the number one show on HBO, or pretty close, I guess it is, Righteous Gemstones, which I hate to point to it again, but you see that guy right there, that's Ron Frazier. He's John Goodman's stand-in on Righteous Gemstones, yeah, and his body double, right, and he's one of the deacons, too. So you've seen him on the show, maybe real quick, but you've seen him. He's at the table. He's at the big table, too. With the family. So we got stuff like that going on. Then we got stuff. We got Felicia.
Oh yes.
Geechee-One. Right. Putting out just amazing amount of work. I think they got another one on Tubi. Sugar Babies. I don't know if it's on Tubi. I know it just came out. Sugar Babies. And that's now I'm on Tubi TV. I can say I've got a film on Tubi TV, Treasure Box. Yes. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's right there on Tubi. And my scene's 20 minutes in, almost exactly 20 minutes. And that was me playing a bad guy. So, yeah. And then 803 from Chris Carter, Benjamin Diamond Films. But Chris Carter, seems to be getting a lot of play, and he's got his network coming out, BDS Plus, and that's going to be on Roku. It's on Roku. Right. You can download it right now, and you can see some of the 803. I was in the first season. Right. And I can't say anymore. Right. I know. I understand. That's a big, we got a big surprise coming, hopefully later on in that. And Adrian, of course, is doing it. So we've got, and then I can't remember everybody. Loretta Green, we just put out a film. She just put out Life with Darby. Oh yes, and and which was really, we put it out at the end of October. She put it out for mental health awareness because it's about a lady that has a son who's living with mental illness, and I play her friend / romantic interest. It's kind of ambiguous there, but that was great. I mean, it was a pleasure to shoot that with Loretta, and then Stephanie Green has always put out P Train. Those are all the ones I can think of off the top of my head. We've got more, but those are the ones that I know are working a lot in this area. There's something else going on, and sorry, I don't remember all of them. But and then Langley Watts is the lady I work with in Life with Darby, and it's really cool because you film this thing with somebody and you're waiting on that. I think it took about a year or so for it to come out. Meanwhile, I'm watching TV and there's Langley on commercials just about every time I turn on TV. I go, I just played her boyfriend.
Right.
And then, I get to see some of these people that I've been on sets with now in commercials and things, and that's really cool. And I've done some commercials, but I never get to see them. I just did one for Campers World down in Hilton Head. Yeah, I don't know if it's a commercial or some sort of video they did, because you don't know. They were like, they're very, we're going to shoot for 3 days. I'm going, wow, this is going to be a long commercial if they're shooting for 3 days. So I played a guy that's renting out a RV to a family, and so I hand him I don't know how much of that I'm going to be in. You never know till you see it. I just know, the money's coming, and I went and filmed it. So then you just go on to the next project. So, yeah.
So when you see yourself on television, on screen, what are your thoughts?
Well, when I did earlier this year, Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh,
was on that. Yeah. In January, and my nephew took pictures of it, so I could then, which was cool because then I got to watch it a little bit. I was actually doing an interview from a lady in LA while it was on, so I didn't watch it live. And my first thought was I should have put some makeup on because I got some rosacea and stuff. So I was like, I can see the red right there. I mean, that's all I could think. I was like, crap, man. I almost put some makeup on for this morning. I mean, and I'm a guy, but I haven't learned really well how to do it, but I guess I've done it enough now that if they say makeup ready, I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Hopefully it's what they want. I take the sheen off of the old bald there and then try to get red patches and stuff like that. Yeah. But the other thing you think is, gosh, maybe this will do something for me.
Yes.
If it doesn't, you just keep going. But my buddy, Lance Morrison, he has this thing called, it's all these things that you've been doing for all these years. It's like a mass, that's when either people are going to start hearing the name more or seeing the face more.
Right.
So it's like a critical mass theory he has. And he said that to me about 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. And it stuck in my head. So now I just keep doing things because it's like, he's right. It's amazing. When you do a body of work and then you look back, because you really sometimes, Quintin, you don't feel like you're doing anything. It feels like I'm putting all this stuff out, but nothing's happening. And then you see somebody like I saw Cooter Douglas at Comedy Cabana, and not till Saturday. He's usually the house MC, but he was doing other things. So Saturday I finally saw him. He was making fun of me. He's going, well, what am I going to say? I got to bring you up. Is it, where are you on now? Is it HBO? Where, he's giving me, which is fine. Obviously. He's like, I've known him for a long time. And that's what's cool when you haven't seen somebody in a year or whatever. And they're like, damn, you're doing a lot of stuff. And you're going, well, I guess I am. It don't feel like it.
Feel like it, yeah.
because you do them one at a time,
Right.
and then you sit and wait.
Yes.
And so everybody thinks, oh man, all this stuff. Well, that they just came out in the same week. That's this thing I've been waiting on 2 years came out Monday. This thing I've been waiting on 6 months came out Wednesday. So it looks like, what I'm saying? Looks like, oh wow, he's got a lot of stuff going.
Yeah.
But I think that's important though. You just keep producing, keep the juices flowing. I don't want to get stagnant.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And how much juice do you have left to keep going for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 more years?
Well, better have enough for 5. Gosh, I don't know. That's a good question, Quintin. I didn't feel like I had any left yesterday. Because, when you do those shows, then you drive back.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do anything yesterday, and I didn't.
Right.
Today I'm doing a little bit. I'm, like I said, working on audition and, thankfully going to the bank because I did have checks come while I was gone and to pay for the Cub. So I don't know. All I know is I'm just as creative now as I've ever been. That's the good news. I am. Sometimes I feel like I'm even more creative because I've had more life experience, and I've got more to draw from. But I've asked myself that too, how can I continue being creative? And sometimes it's like anything else. I think if you empty the vessel, it will fill back up. But once you empty it, you do have to wait for it to fill. So yeah, you have to pace yourself. And I do. I know people go, oh, you better be careful, because I was on here right after the heart attack, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Was it 2 months after or something? It was pretty quick after.
Right. Yes, sir.
And, so sometimes people are like, well, you better. No, I'm like, you're right. I've done crazy things, since then. Like those 2 senior communities I did, that was in one day. So I drove up to Myrtle Beach, did that show at 2. And then bummed around for, sat in my car and I don't know, till 7, because the next show wasn't until 7 in Pawleys Island. And then drove back to Charleston. Ooh. So that was a long day, I was at least 12 hours. Ooh. And not only that, but driving too. Yeah. But that's, the beauty of that was I don't think I had anything the next day. It was a pretty good week though. I did that. I had other gigs that week. So I think I did in 1 week, I did like stand up, then I did DJ, and then I think I was an extra. I was something, I don't know. I did just about everything I do as an entertainer. Wow. In one gig. And then those I love those weeks though. That's when people are going, wow, he's doing a lot. When you're doing everything you do in your arsenal in 1 week, those are cool. Because it's variety.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And speaking of that interview we did over here at the College of Charleston, you told me in June of 2019 that the biggest lesson that you told me that you learned from the heart attack is that it just happened. What have you done with what happened to you back then?
I think I've tried to grow off of that theory, because what else happened? The pandemic. Let's think about that. 2018, 9/11, the 9/12 was quadruple. So, I think I was starting to get back on my feet probably early 2019. And, starting as the year progressed, yeah, okay, and then all of a sudden, boom, here comes COVID. And COVID took everything. All the entertainment went away. Wow. So, yeah, it's funny because it's like, okay, I'm kind of back, and no, I'm not. But no, anybody is. Everybody got wiped with that, So we all had to say stuff happens. Everybody in the world. So I think everybody, and I will tell you, and I think a lot of people felt like this, especially people like me that live alone. It was tough those first, I don't know, 3 or 4 months.
Right. April, May, June, yeah.
I would go out here and I would look. I can walk down the road and see 526
Right.
Leeds Avenue.
Right.
I can see the bridge over.
Oh yeah, Westmoreland.
And I would go out there sometimes and look, and there would just be 1, 2 cars coming across. At 4 in the afternoon. That's when it hits. That's when you're going, this is serious. So yeah, it was tough for a while there, and I think a lot of people felt like that because we were all just sitting here going, what do we do now? I did have start having to deliver pizza.
Oh, good.
So financially,
Yeah.
it didn't hurt because my back did, because I was starting to deliver 6-7 days a week. I mean, the restaurant,
Right.
the delivery stuff, that went up.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But creatively, oh my God. I mean, that's when I've come up with this guy, CRP News, Tom Montongo. So I created this character just because I wasn't doing anything, So I was doing stupid stuff like that. And then every once in a while I'd get a Zoom, I did 5 or 6 virtual shows, during that time too. And so you slowly crawled out of that hole. And we're still damn doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's kind of like more of an aggravation than, you're worried about dying, never working again, the worst things you can think of. I mean, you had to have gone through that too. I mean,
oh yeah, everybody did. Yeah, absolutely. I was unemployed for a couple of months, and didn't have any money coming in.
Yeah.
So, had to find other ways of making money, of course.
So we all went through our struggles.
Yeah.
I think it made us stronger, though.
Sure.
I would not. You know what? I don't think, I could be wrong, or it could be later. I don't think I would be narrating audiobooks if it wasn't for COVID. Because that's another thing. I sat and watched videos. I got a friend who has a radio show out in Reno. What's the Story? And I used to be on there. She turned me on to ACX, which is, if you're going to do an audiobook, that's the site you have to be on. Yeah. So now I've got like 9 or 10 audiobooks on Audible and Amazon. Yes. Some of them are real short, but I don't think I would have done that if it hadn't been for COVID. Because, I was looking for another outlet, and I'm trying to do voiceover stuff anyway. So I've built that library up to help that. And, that sometimes those things that happen, like the heart attack and COVID and all that, they force all this stuff out of you that you didn't know you had or you could do. But boy, it was a lot of work. I mean, a lot of videos, man, a lot of YouTube videos.
Yes.
And,
oh man, that's amazing. How did you bring your comedic side to the audiobooks?
Oh, I've got one out called, it's a Halloween joke book for kids 6 to 12, believe it or not. So that, okay, I had everything else, I think. Yeah, pretty much everything else was serious. So there is no bringing the comedic side to it. But that's why I'm saying, Quintin, I'm not just a comedian, I could not do that. I can't just stay stuck in one mode, so I brought my acting side to that, or some of the books aren't acting. I did one on stress called "Say No to Stress," so that's straight narration. That's an inspirational book. I did one called about Citizen Kane in American politics. The movie. I don't know if you've seen it. I'd never seen it. I watched it, and then all of a sudden, 2 months after I watched it, this book is on about Citizen Kane and American politics. I went, wow, I just watched that. Told the author when I, submitted my audition, and got it. So it was a really cool book. And then, I've got one on cell phone cheats. I got one on a poem. There's a couple of poetry books I did, but not like, it's weird. One of them's a whole story. It's not like rhymes. It's more of a, I don't know. monologue or
Yes.
something
Yes.
called The Partisan. And that some of these you do feel like you're acting. And I thought I narrated it, but then again, I had a certain mood or feeling that I had while I was doing the whole thing that I wanted to convey. You know, this is a very short book about a guy, a warrior dying and basically going to whatever heaven, Valhalla or whatever the book is supposed to be representing, you know, because he goes off on a boat with some other spirits or something. I mean, it's kind of a esoteric book, but you know, that's one of those you read it and you go, here's my interpretation of the mode or the mood of this book. And then you do it. And the author liked it, I guess, because he accepted it.
Right.
So that's that. I mean, that's like something new.
Yes.
To me. You know, it's something I didn't know I had in me. And you don't know that till you start doing these things. And you go, oh, okay. Wow, I didn't know I could emote that.
Yes. Which one of those describes you the best as an entertainer?
None of them. None of them. That's the beauty of it. None of them do. They're all a conglomerate. All of us are like that. I mean, some of us, you know, as entertainers might be more on the funny side or, you know, might be more dramatic, but I don't want to pigeonhole myself into one of those. And I know that's bad in a way because they'll go, you know, when I do a club, you know, what's your shtick, you know, or as an entertainer, you know, or do you want to just do commercials? Do you want to go to a commercial agent or do you want to go to a film agent? Or are you just TV or what about theater? You know, so like you have to just pick one, you know, I don't, no. And that might be a downfall, but I don't want to just pick one, you know, because I think you grow from doing all of them. Because you can bring things from each one into the other one sometimes, you know. You can be doing a dramatic part, but have a smart-ass line in the middle of it that you have to deliver, you know, like a comic, even though you're doing, you know. So if you don't bring stuff in, you'll be straight drama the whole time. And sometimes you don't need that. You need to, you know, like Joe Pesci, just because I was watching Goodfellas the other day. Here's a guy, you know, his character was funny as hell sometimes, but then he's shooting people and killing them, you know? So what would you say, Quintin? You can't, are you saying that he's just straight dramatic, you know? So that's how I feel, I mean, about what I do. I don't want to be the one whole. I want to be all of them, as many as I can fill.
Sure. Well, entertainer Brian T. Shirley, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome back to the award-winning Quintin's Close-Ups.
Hey man, congratulations again. You're an inspiration to me.
Well,
just watching you, you know, continue to do these amazing things. Well, and I'm honored to be on here. My dad's like, "Are you going on Quintin again?" I'm like, "Yes, man."
We love Mr. Larry. He's a great guy.
Yeah. He's on his back porch, that's for sure.
Good. He deserves it after all those years of working.
Oh, well, he does videos from his back porch called Larry from the Back Porch.
I bet that's interesting.
Yes, it is. Especially after a few bourbons. It's very interesting.
Oh, God.
Don't tell him I told you.
I won't.
Uh-oh. Whoops. This is a public interview.
Yeah. Well, you keep doing the great work, and we look forward to seeing more of your projects and other, you know, initiatives as well. So thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Likewise.